Okay, hello guys. I spun the wheel and it landed on Vietnam. So yeah. So I need to do some customizations. First things first, we need a more aggressive Vietnam. And here I'm going to have like a civil war for the sake of this video, because I want to change geopolitical stuff, because Vietnam has a very strong like communist root. So if I just cause a civil war, the north will have the north that has strong communists will be facing against the south. So for now, since I don't want to change geopolitical stuff, the fascists are going to rise up in Vietnam. I'm also going to have a small little blob around the capital, kind of like this, around the capital. There's also going to be small little fighters and small little communist partisans in the south, most largely in Ho Chi Minh City, right over here in the Mekong Delta. So the first plan is to hold the line while they'll start clearing out these guys, and these guys will attempt to expand all the way to Halong Bay, so they can avoid the onslaught, and they will successfully do that. So therefore these guys can send supplies to the Hanoi fighters, so therefore they don't have to deal with the fact that they're kinda encircled. So they'll start sending troops up while they start flanking, and now they are able to split the country in two: the very northern tip of Vietnam and the west. So I'll have some what was this name of this region again of Vietnam? I forgot, but this is like kind of mountainous. They'll start fighting against the communists for their own independent state. Now, because of this, the communists have to swing over and fight these guys in the mountainous northwest of Vietnam, like that. They'll take advantage of this and push further up, all the way up to here, like that, and boom, they successfully do it. And eventually these guys will capitulate over. And now for the last bits, they have to deal with these northern bits. Northern bits, and slowly they push until they do a massive Napoleonic tactic from Napoleon, where they rush straight for the capital instead of like slowly just going inch by inch by inch. And then they quickly go over here, and then these guys in the mountains surrender. So yeah, now we have a new Vietnam, and the capital, instead of being in Hanoi, is going to be in Saigon, or Ho Chi Minh City, because that's the core territory. Like if the South conquered the north of Vietnam, the capital will be Saigon. So yeah, I will get rid of that, but as you can see, they have successfully fought, and now they're going to do the very four-year plan, etc., etc., etc. Basically a copy of China, but fascist. So let's wind past that, and now the fascists have their plan. The first target is to attack the microstates. First one on the list is Burundi. Brunei, that's what I mean. They will land here, and there's a little bit of area where Brunei resistance is holding off, and they'll slowly inch across until they'll eventually get all of Brunei. You may be wondering, this is across the whole South China Sea. Why are you doing this? Because if I want Vietnam to swing around and attack Indonesia, to me Brunei would be a great staging base against Malaysia and also Indonesia. Now, Philippines. Yes, the Philippines. You know, I'm just going to do this manually. Okay. Like that, and then as you can see it, the Philippines right over here is escalating with Malaysia, the Malays. So they'll start fighting Malaysia for this little area that the Philippines claim. And since the Malays weren't expecting this, they'll have massive ground. So yeah, but eventually it devolves into trench warfare. So yeah. Now the Vietnamese fascists are coming in, and they'll start pushing for Cambodia, because Phnom Penh, and they'll start pushing in to capture Cambodia, and they'll almost quickly just capture Phnom Penh, like right down here, almost immediately, but Cambodian fighters. Sorry, my Vietnamese heritage is kicking in, and so I'm calling them Kampuchea, which is the Vietnamese way of saying Cambodia. Are starting to push in, and the Cambodian partisans are not letting go yet. So they're slowly having to push into the jungle, like that, before capturing the last major city down here, which causes Cambodia to surrender. And their plan is to just annex all of it. Why? Because number one, it's free land. Second, Cambodia used to be a part of Vietnam, so technically Vietnam has historical claims to Cambodia. So I'll just rewind to bring back the nice clean borders. Fill this in, go snip, and then snip. Maybe feel 10's better. So yeah, and then fill. So yeah, Vietnam now owns Laos, so Cambodia, and now they're planning to split Laos because they'll demand the whole southern area, and Laos doesn't want to give up this whole area to Vietnam. So their plan. You know what? I will have a different one. So how about instead Vietnam would demand the eastern side, like this. Think of it as Czechia's Sudetenland. This is Laos's massive mountainous area that protects them from Vietnam. So now Laos is basically slowly being cut apart, like that. So yeah, it's giving some kind of troubles for Laos. Now eventually Vietnam demands the rest of Laos, and Laos declines. So they use this as a casus belli to fight Laos. You know what? I don't like this dark brown color. I'm gonna stick with the old red color. Yeah, I'm gonna set Vietnam back to its red color, but just remember that they're fascist now. Okay? And now they're going to start pushing in, and also pushing in down here. And eventually, after they split it, they take advantage of the Cambodian troops, get this over, and now they will enable a massive fascist civil war in the east, because this is where Vietnam's going to start sending fascist propaganda. They don't own Bangkok though. They don't own Bangkok. So yeah, Bangkok's still on Thai hands. Now at the Philippines situation, the Philippines is able to make subtle gains though. They're able to make some subtle gains until they reach over here, the border of Vietnam, where they get completely stopped over because due to how thin it is. Sorry, I'm a bit sick. Due to how thin it is. And since Vietnam owns this, they don't want to fight that much again. I need to set this too. So yeah. Now eventually, after here, they would dash for Vientiane. I believe that's how you say the Laotian capital, and cause Laos to capitulate. So they will annex all of it, and Vietnam will no longer be called Vietnam because they want to strengthen unity. So they'll call it Greater Indochina. Sorry, they'll refer to them as Indochina. And now the new ruling ideology is to unite all of Indochina, stretching from Burma all the way to the Bismarck archipelago. That's what they demand. And the Thai fascists actually agree with that. So their plan is to take over Thailand before then after that unite. So with Vietnam's capitulation of Laos, they're able to start pouring in little fascist pamphlets and eventually get the whole northern part of Thailand, and they also start stretching over to here and slowly over here, like that. So yeah, they own all of northern Thailand, and even worse, Burma decides to join. They need a good color for them. Orange, yes, orange. So Burma decides to join because they want this land right over here. But they perform horribly because they have a civil war. So because of this, Thailand is actually able to push into Burmese territory because they're having a whole civil war right now. So they're able to push into Burmese territory and eventually annex all of this little boot thing because of the British shenanigans. So yeah, they're able to annex all of this, and yeah, now it's not looking kinda good for Burma or Myanmar, depending who you are. Wait, I forgot to color that in. So after this, Vietnam sees that all these troops are distracted and demands a full-on invasion of Bangkok, which the fascists quickly do before they encircle this little hand. I would say there's 5 divisions in here, which cripples them badly, since basically like they have 6 divisions here, and then around this whole lump they have 10 divisions, and up there they had like 5 divisions. So in total they had 21, and now they have dropped down to 16, which causes a bit of a panic, which causes a massive panic. And now Vietnam sees an opportunity when they see one. They see that Burma is going through a civil war, so they have a great idea. What? Have a great idea. Why not invade Burma? But after that, in order to get a better foothold, they will annex the Thai fascists. So yeah, these are not fascist troops marching in. These are this is core Vietnamese territory now. So Indochina territories. Trying to get rid of these. So yeah, as you can see, there's always these little dots to guide you across all the borders. So Vietnam went from this all the way to here. So yeah, after this, they declare war on Myanmar. Sorry, Burma. So now it's a 3-way war, and the Vietnamese are successfully able to have some troops, but then they get stopped in the north by all these mountains. They're planning to send all the elite Laotian and mountainous specialization troops over, while they are currently aiming to get into the marshy south of it before they will successfully take all of this land. And it doesn't do very much because yes, it does open up an extra front against Thailand, but there's already so many divisions here, so it's not very useful to them. So anyway, they will successfully capture the marsh of Burma, like that. And now they need manpower. So yeah. So who will give them manpower? They may be asking, who will actually give them manpower? And you know who. There's a very special country with lots of manpower, and it's India. You may be wondering, why are they giving Vietnam manpower? It's because India has a very secret plan to try and ally Vietnam and then get as much control as possible in Indochina, so therefore they can utterly dominate Southeast Asia. So once they get it, it makes them harder because it solidates this flank, and it also expands them way much. And if they annex Bangladesh, then even better. It's like a massive highway to China, and it skips all the annoying Himalayas blocking them. So to them, securing Southeast Asia as a good ally is the best thing they can do. So they send mountain power, and then the Laotian troops arrive, and they are able to push out all of the Myanmar. And now the Vietnamese would dash into the jungle. You may be wondering why. The capital of Myanmar, Burma, is in the jungle, about over here. So they'll quickly take that before dashing over, like this, like that, and then yeah, and they also go through here. Myanmar is basically barely even fighting back because currently they have guerrilla fighters in there, like that. So yeah, but they're able to do some counter-offensive, like they're able to push here. They're also able to push a bit, trying to get the capital, and also a bit up here, trying to encircle the small divisions, and they're also trying to free these divisions over here. So yeah, the Burmese troops are able to do some, but eventually the Vietnamese, they will click here and do a massive encirclement. They're basically doing Napoleonic tactics. Instead of going like woo 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 like that, instead they're going straight for the major cities and trying to encircle like that. They're doing spearheads. So they'll successfully capitulate Myanmar and all these little countries. So yeah, they'll successfully capitulate Burma. Yeah, I'm just getting confused with Burma and Myanmar. I'll just call it Myanmar from now on. And they're able to push back here, and they're threatening to encircle, so the Thai troops demand these Thai troops to evacuate, but instead they refuse and instead want to try and do an offensive into Bangkok, which goes horribly, as these guys of course encircle them, and poof! Guess what? 6 divisions are encircled. The Vietnamese have 22, the Thai have 10, and now these guys just surrendered. The Vietnamese have killed almost all of their troops. So yeah, basically screwed. So yeah, they will form Greater Indochina, but less Greater Indochina because they're missing Malaysia stuff. And then India will demand from Bangladesh. They will say that, hey, Indochina is right at your doorstep, and they'll threaten Bangladesh and force them to join, and to make sure Indochina, or also known as Vietnam, is happy. They agree to give them part of the Seven Sisters. If you're wondering what the Seven Sisters are, they are a certain region in India separated by a very thin piece of India around over here. So yeah. Wait, no, I want the very black. There we go. So yeah, Indochina will successfully get all of this like prime Bangladeshi and also some Indian lands. That's the extent of Vietnam. Before they will quickly invade, if they will quickly invade Malaysia, which nobody expected somehow. We do not know how, and Vietnam was able to successfully capture the areas around Burundi and also up here where they're not able to capture Kuala Lumpur yet. So yeah, they're making massive gains. And now the Philippines is like, I think I should stop this war with Malaysia because Vietnam's already coming in. So they'll be to just stop right here and just take the already claimed lands. So the Vietnamese will start pushing further and further. And because of this vast water, Vietnam decides to take these little islands for control, like this, to hold them and use them to block off these sides. So now they're basically screwed. And also to screw even more marine trade, they will capture Singapore by a quick invasion, like that, and along with some Indonesian islands, which drags Indonesia into the war. So while we historic rivals, Indonesia and Malaysia are finally getting along with East Timor, because Indonesia just threats them and just threatens them, and East Timor is like, that's kind of scary. So yeah, they're also able to push around here, and they're basically conquering Borneo. They'll push also over here, and eventually capture Kuala Lumpur, causing Malaysia to surrender. After all, they're getting Indian help. Lots and lots of Indian help because India wants more control of Southeast Asia. So after that, they will make a naval invasion of Sumatra, along with over here and here. So yeah, they'll successfully land a naval invasion. They'll also capture this very tip and basically expand all the borders. So they'll capture all over here. And finally, do a naval invasion of Java, because they want to capture the population centers of Indonesia in Java to basically screw them over. So they successfully capture Java before Indonesia sadly capitulates, along with East Timor, because they realize that the only last hope is kind of gone. Because here's the thing, you cannot fight if you have no manpower, and you have no manpower because the enemy just took all the population centers, which are in Java. So yeah, now Vietnam dominates almost all of Southeast Asia. And one last thing, Philippines. But before that, they'll just make some quick demands like Papua New Guinea, and because of the rapid expansion of Vietnam, I'm gonna say it takes them a solid 10 years to do all of that. Papua New Guinea is shooken up, so they surrender along with Solomon Islands. Now New Caledonia at this point got its independence, along with the North Republic of the Solomon Islands. So they also capitulate to Vietnam. That's so smart then, leaving in France, because now you have fascist Vietnamese. Now Vietnam is like the master of the islands. Like, they're basically just Japan at this point, without the Chinese holding, and Japan itself, and Korea too, and South Sakhalin. So yeah, it's basically just better Japan. So yeah, I will erase the border now. So yeah, Vietnam is now dominating all of this land. So now they'll invade the Philippines. Now with those sudden I don't want them to capitulate. I just want them to get the northern tip of Borneo, like that. They'll get the northern tip of Borneo, these islands, and over here they'll also get the tip of this massive island, because they're planning to go use these islands to get the southern part of the Philippines and northern part of the Philippines, and then attack like that. So they stage another naval invasion, another naval invasion, another naval invasion, another naval invasion, because this is the average Hoi 4 gameplay when you're fighting Britain. You just send naval invasions randomly in random spots because Britain's just annoying to fight. So yeah, all these naval invasions cause them to lose this land. They're also able to link up, but some fail, like this one. This one successfully recaptured by the Philippines, along with this one. However, this one's able to hold out for a very long time, causing many casualties, and is still holding out. This naval invasion is able to also link up with these guys via the coast, but not over here. And eventually these guys expand down here and down all the way over here, encircling all these troops, and it becomes like a slaughterhouse, just boom. Very violent, I know. What do you expect from a fascist country? They're violent, they're horrible. That's why fascism is a horrible thing. Why do you think Germany failed? So yeah, I'm just doing this for the sake of it. Yeah. So yeah. And eventually the Philippines will collapse. And now I'm going to end the video here because I don't want to continue it. And if I had to continue it, I would probably say that the Vietnamese Empire would probably collapse after India realizes that they're going to get nothing out of it, and Australia sees its Pacific aggressiveness and calls in NATO and their allies to fight over here against Vietnam, and I'll probably say they'll collapse. So yeah, peace out, goodbye.